offspring from us doing exactly what they did. We fight for what our ancestors fought for, not for a constitution, not for a flag, not for some fake U.S. Ideology. We fight for everything that the Creator commanded us to fight for. We kill everything that the Creator said the wages of sin is death, kill it. Everybody spending the wages of sin, dead on arrival. DOA. And everybody that wants life. That's the defense. The defense wins championships. Defense gets you to glory. So we got to spell out the defense. We got to draw the line in the sand on the defense and tell you what's not going to happen first. But the offense is don't nobody spread love like we spread love. Don't nobody spread love like my grandmother, my Gertrude Wilson. In a neighborhood where white people wanted to say, listen, man, everybody in that neighborhood was being blessed by my grandmother and grandfather, and then white people who wanna make it seem like they doing the same thing up here that Mississippi is doing and Alabama is doing. They was acting, in the 60s. White people in the North was acting tough, especially in our city. In New Jersey, it wasn't no white people running nothing, We controlled that city. And I'm talking about the wealth. In the 50s and the 60s, we had manufacturing plant. We had General Motors. We had Chrysler. We was getting bread. Now, I ain't talking about no drug trade. I ain't talking about, in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. We was making automobiles in Trenton, New Jersey, They'll tell you that. The automobile manufacturing kingdom, Trenton, New Jersey. They ain't enslave us. They ain't none of that. The hottest spot of the American Revolution in 1776, let alone in 1880. Ain't talking about an Emancipation Proclamation in 1865. They lost the war in 1776, So from 1776 to 1865, where they claim there's no slavery. They lost the bat. They tried to take the country and lost it. All of the Europeans left. All of the Africans that were helping them left. There is no Washington, D.C. There is no states from 1776 to a so-called Declaration. The Declaration of Independence was them coming back and establishing D.C. and establishing a fake constitution and banks, the Federal Reserve Bank. And they lost that battle again in 1865. When they tried to come back and take over in 1865, They lost again. So in 1871, they like, all right, let's stop messing with New Jersey and Philadelphia and New York, because they keep burning down our capital cities and killing our boats with our little military. So they go down to land, that's swamp land, Maryland. They draw a line. The slave masons deception line. The slave masons deception line. Y'all call it the Mason-Dixon line. The supernatural Thundercat Masons. I'm a supernatural Thundercat Mason. That's my grandmother Legette's maiden name. My great grandmother Ethel Mason. I'm a supernatural Thundercat Mason of Ethel Mason. Don't nobody had no dominion. Don't we that's a supernatural Thundercat Mason dominion line. Because when they tried to draw a line between Pennsylvania and Maryland, we slaughtered William Penn. Death to William Penn. So how is it Pennsylvania? How's the White House on Pennsylvania Avenue? We slaughtered William Penn trying to do an underground railroad against Ethel Brown Mason, who lived in West Virginia during the time where William Penn and them wanted to come over with their slave treaties from England. Pequot War. Pequot War. The British make a treaty over there. This is what Spain did with Christopher Columbus. Every last one of those courts created the corporation that you put your church under to be able to raise money, to be able to bring boats with militaries to lands and extract people and rip people from their families and take them and put them into slavery in the Caribbean, in Canada, in England, in India, in Africa, Liberia. They told the story in reverse. They never had a slave trade here in our country. Never. So they started extracting people from our country. This is the Underground Railroad. Extracting people and enslaving them in places where we're not living. But like I told you with Tarshish, the righteous individuals that serve God controlled every island and every landmass from the very beginning. And anybody, anywhere that engages in slave trade cannot own land anywhere. You are cursed everywhere, says Revelation 18, says Deuteronomy 28. Anybody that steals people from their land, rapes them when they're stealing them from their land, kills them, all under a church or churches, God said, you're going to have to pay and you're going to